Welcome in along with Mike Renner. I'm Steve Palazzolo, and this is your Montez Sweat NFL Draft Profile, all powered by PFF Edge and Elite. All right, Mike, when we look at Montez Sweat's game, a lot of people have him going in the top 10 to 15. He has all of the tools, the size, the athleticism, crushed the combine better than I even expected after watching him on tape. And he's got good, not great PFF grades, which means we're going to be a little bit lower than him than others. Why is that? What are we seeing on film?
Yeah, I think there's the same red flag of you're that athletic. If you were to build the body type and athleticism of an edge defender projecting the NFL, it would be Montez Sweat. 35+ inch arms, the 4.4 140, ridiculous explosiveness. But then why wasn't it elite grades? Why wasn't he producing like Myles Garrett? Looks like Myles Garrett. Why wasn't he producing the way Myles Garrett did in college? And there's just this stiffness to his game, rushing the edge, does not have a lot of pass rush moves, a bull rush specialist, and then after that it was kind of everything else was an afterthought. I just don't see him being this high level prospect that the traits, that the athleticism might suggest.
So there's two things to look at here, because like I said, we've broken down Rashawn Gary and his lack of production, and Gary's much lower than even Sweat from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
He's very good in the PFF grading, solid run defense grade, a pass rush grade of 84.9. Again, good, not great, but we're talking about as a top 10 player. The guys that we've seen really succeed at the next level have had pass rush grades above 87, 88, well into the 90s when we're talking Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa, Trey Flowers, the guys that we've seen translate at the next level. So Sweat's below that number. But remember, when we're talking about production, it's more than just sacks. The fact that he had 24 sacks over the last 2 years doesn't tell the story, because he's only had 19 QB hits, only 49 other QB hurries. He's actually not winning a ton for a pass rusher compared to his peers, which is why that PFF pass rush grade is a little bit lower than you'd expect for all those sacks.
Yeah, and we're not saying he's going to be bad. We still have him within our top 50 players. We still like him to be a productive NFL pro. We're just not saying, you've got to take this guy. We know he's going to work out. He has produced. He has the athleticism. He's not checking all the boxes from our end. He reminds me a lot of Minnesota Vikings edge defender. I'm blanking on his name now. Danielle Hunter coming out in terms of has the length, has the size, but it's just something's a little missing there. And Hunter's developed into a good, not necessarily a great pass rusher, though, at the next level. Obviously, outplayed his draft status, but I'm not sure he's been worthy of, it's necessarily a top 10 pick.
And Hunter's actually a really good example of a guy that's had a ton of sacks, that's made him a ton of money, but he hasn't won at a high level that really matched the sacks. That's why his PFF pass rush grade is a little bit lower than expected. So let's just close it with this. We like Montez Sweat. We have him in the 40s. We have a second-round grade on him. But like all these other prospects, there are just some question marks. And his question mark, can he produce like that elite first-round edge defender? You're saying there's just some risk to it.
Yeah, and you go back to, the one game I go back to is the Dalton Risner against Kansas State. Only beat him a couple times there on 30 or 40 pass rushes in that game. For the most part, Dalton Risner shut him down, a guy who we expect to play in the NFL. He did not go out and dominate in that game. For the most part, got shut down. That, to me, is concerning.
So there you have it. It's your Montez Sweat NFL Draft Profile, all powered by PFF Edge and Elite.